is when a correction comes through. But for now, there seems to be no problems on the anvil. But TTK Prestige is one stock on our radar today. The company has signed an agreement with a global consultant to develop a 5-year long-term business strategy. And for the same, they will invest 12 crores over the next 6 months. To discuss more on this development, we have Venkatesh Vijayaraghavan, who is the MD designate and CEO of TTK Prestige, who joins us now. Venkatesh, thanks a lot for joining in. Can you tell us what is this agreement that you've signed in for 5 years? What will this investment bring to you in terms of returns? And what are you looking at over, in terms of business development as well?
Yeah, like you would know that we've recently gone through a complete management rejig with a lot of our leaders sort of superannuating, having taken the organization through a very successful journey. A large part of the leadership today is new, and we've sort of had a management change with me coming in as well. The organization, TTK Prestige, has had a huge legacy and a very high success rate in the last couple of decades. And we believe that as we move forward with the changing scenario of the country and also in terms of the categories and the industry, it would be prudent for us to have a look at how do we sort of reboot and take the next leap. As a part of this exercise, internally, a lot of work has been happening, and we've sort of engaged a strategic partnership with one of the partners. We're in initial stages to explore the possibilities of that partnership, helping us understand where the growths can come from, what sort of challenges that we need to surmount, and therefore, how do we sort of prepare ourselves for the next 5-10 years? And this is part of that exercise. This is one of the initiatives that we've looked at across the spectrum, and a lot more that would come in from us as we move forward.
Okay, so, since you've just come on board, and I'm sure there's some fresh vigor with this whole rejig and new energy on board in TTK Prestige, I just wanted to understand what is the strategy of the company now, because demand trends have been slightly on the muted side. Growth has not been as good as perhaps what it was a couple of years ago. So in order to spur growth, spur demand, what kind of change in strategy would you want to adopt?
So, like I've been consistently maintaining, I think one significant strategy that has always held good for the company is innovation. And as a country, India has multiple opportunities across different price segments today. So innovation, I think, is core to the whole exercise, where we see a lot of premiumization happening at one end, a lot of upgradation happening from the mid to the high end, from the low to the mid end. So innovation of products, innovation of existing categories would be a very significant thrust area for us as we move forward. We do believe as the country starts moving up the ladder in terms of economic growth, premiumization is one aspect of the game that we would aggressively pursue. Having said that, there are enough opportunities at the mass premium and the mass market end as well. And that's something that we would pursue together. But to the core of this exercise, I believe innovation and thrust on innovation is going to be the way forward. And this has been the core of the organization for all the success that it's had in the last few years.
So zeroing in particularly on premiumization, Venkatesh, hi, and congratulations on coming on board. What percentage of your portfolio today would be at the premium end, according to your own internal calculations? And since you've taken over, you would have also done an assessment of the entire business. It's a long, old legacy business, which has done very well. Are there any pockets where you think that perhaps, is not suited now for the next 5 or 10 years and the company could veer away from it?
No, I don't think so. I think one of the good things that we as a company have had is we've had a very strong portfolio focused on a few core categories and very strong market shares and strong leadership positions in some of these categories. And these categories also have relevance and a strong growth path as we move forward. Of course, subject to the sort of downturn that's happening today, and we expect that to sort of come back over a period of time. So in my mind, I think the spaces that we operate are very clearly spaces that we believe would continue to grow and have good headroom for us to grow. So to that extent, I think a very sharp focus on some of our core categories is something that we would pursue very strongly, continue to pursue, and maybe add a few categories of scale as we move forward. That's work in progress as I would speak right now.
Venkatesh, hi, good morning. And again, congratulations from me as well. Prashant here. So this is a general management consulting firm, like a McKinsey or some. Like, would you tell us who this is? Who's been brought on board?
No, I'm not at liberty at this point of time to sort of
okay, fair enough.
Talk about the name right now.
So what have you told them? What do you need to get done? Do you want to cut cost? Do you want to have you told them to do a survey to identify newer markets you can enter? I mean, what are the terms of reference in that sense?
So what I would sort of look at as immediate priority for the organization. If you were to look at our financials, I think we are well placed in terms of financials. It's been a well-run organization with a very strong P&L and cash reserves and cash flows as well. What probably would be the thrust area for us is to get our top line growth and in line with the opportunities and the headroom available. I think our priority is to get our top line growth right. And that's one objective that we've sort of kept it central to this entire focus for the next 5 to 10 years. And this partnership probably will help us understand that better and the opportunities in that space better.
And the last, I think in February when we had had you guys on, you'd said that for FY25, you're expecting a reasonably high single-digit growth. That was what that number broadly in terms of not a guidance, but that's what we'll see at least now. And this, of course, will take time to materialize.
So I wouldn't want to talk specifics at this point of time, given the timing of the conversation. But suffice to say that I think the industry still has not sort of come back in trends. I think we're bottoming out now, and maybe in the next few quarters, we would see the industry grow faster, and hopefully that would lead to the growth as we move forward.
So the big thrust, as you said, to bring this on board is going to be top-line growth, right? Over the next 5-10 years, as you said. So how will that happen? Will you enter new product categories? Is there thinking on those lines? Completely new sort of product categories? Because you will, of course, try to push in where you're strong in any way. And the other one is acquisition. I mean, we've been hearing for some time that there is an acquisition around the corner, something between 500 and 1,000 crores, but not happened yet. And so just on both those points, yes.
Yeah, so I think there are three parts to this conversation on top line growth. One, of course, we consistently continue to sort of consolidate our position in our core categories. Given that the headroom available in these categories is far higher, and I think we are well placed to sort of consolidate our growths there and accelerate them through a combination of innovation and go-to-market. Second, of course, like I said, we pick up a few categories of scale that we believe are relevant to the brand and the company, and we sort of enter into those categories. Acquisitions is something that I wouldn't be able to comment at this point of time. It's a little too early for me to comment. But having said that, we do believe that there are opportunities in the spaces that we operate. If the right value and the right opportunity comes in, we would be open to acquire as well. So it's a combination of organic and inorganic growth that we are looking at.
Combination of organic and inorganic growth. Got it. Can you give us some more numbers in the kitchen and home appliances segment? What has your volume growth been up until now, year to date?
No, so like I said, I think the timing is in such a way that I can't specifically talk about the numbers of these quarters right now. But I think if you were to look at the past trends, it's been a little flattish. We do believe that some parts of the markets have started moving up, and therefore we would believe some of these categories will start growing in the future. That's what would be my reply at this point of time.
So, no, the reason I'm asking is because I want to understand some trends. So, is it double-digit growth that you can do in FY25 in the kitchen and home appliances segment? Or do you think that for a while it could continue to be a single-digit growth? So, any kind of indication that you can give us?
Not at this point of time, please.
Okay. And how has the response been to some of the new launches? I'm sure you would, you would have some indication of how things are shaping up because you've introduced 27 new SKUs in the quarter gone by. How has the response been?
The response has been fairly good. Like I said, I think one part of the business that is very clearly indicating to us that there could be robust growth as we move forward is the adoption of some of the new products. The adoption of the new products and the response to some of the new products have been really good. And we do clearly see that there is a trend of upgradation happening, be it in cookers, be it in cookware, small appliances where we are present in. I think there's been a trend of the urban markets upgrading very strongly. And this upgradation is being facilitated by new product introductions and also some of the existing categories going through category upgrades and going through design upgrades as well. So overall, I think it suits us well to launch new products. The adoption rates are far higher. Like always, I think it's important to keep the relevance of the consumer in mind. And that's something that I think has been quite successful so far. So the new products are seeing good traction as we speak today.
Okay, got that. One final question from my end. Given that there are new products, there is premiumization, there's upgradation from consumers, is there scope for you to take your margins to that 15-16% mark? Currently, you're hovering around 11, 12, 12.5% as of last quarter. But is there scope over the next 1 to 2 years to elevate your margins to 15-16%?
So over a period of time, I do definitely think that's a possibility. But from our perspective, I think, like I said, it's important that we sustain the margins that we have today, build components to that. But of importance would be the top line growth. Because as top line growths come in and as our costs are largely capped and our capacities are available, I do believe that top line growth would directly flow into the bottom line over a period of time. So of more importance for us is to sustain the cost efficiencies that we have today. Capacity is available to be utilized better. And hence, therefore, a very heavy thrust on top line growth across geographies, across channels, across new product innovations like we speak, and premiumization. I think a combination of this would help us get the top line growths robust, and that flows into the profitability as we speak. So that would be a graded journey that I would see happening.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, and I hope we speak after the first quarter earnings, right? And we'll have that opportunity, and maybe we can talk some specific numbers then. Thank you very much for joining us and giving us a sense of your vision for the company and what you'd like to do. So top line growth, really the thrust area in terms of how they want to drive things from here. And open to acquisitions, but nothing very specific at this stage. As I said, post Q1 numbers, maybe we'll have some more specific details. Stock actually has moved up from the time that we started the conversation, 5 rupees higher, 790. We'll take a